Sometimes, when you struggle with self-worth, bare minimum attention can hook you fast. When they begin to breadcrumb you, you can't handle the discomfort of rejection. But sometimes, it doesn't have anything to do with your self-worth. Sometimes people, for their own selfish reasons, really yank your chain. They are acting like someone who is genuinely interested, but then you suggest getting together. They pull away. And that's how you end up in rumination, overanalyzing someone who won't even show up for a first date. Their inconsistent behavior ends up with you feeling like an idiot. How do I know? Well, it's not just women. I've had guys do this to me too. Hello friends, my name is Maria, and for over 3 decades I bent over backwards for romantic prospects, friends, and family members who gave me nothing but mixed signals. They were interested in talking to me one day and then silent the next. To be fair, I wasn't being ruthless enough. I spent too long chasing after the wrong people. I gave too many chances, and I let people walk all over me. When you are dealing with flirty flakes who end up avoiding you, it's important to honor your boundaries. Stop chasing people who've already taken themselves out of the running, and start showing up for yourself with the kind of confidence that naturally attracts the right people. So, if you are ready to learn how to stop feeling bad, stop overanalyzing every rejection, and begin to pivot upward toward people who match your energy and your effort, then grab a bottle of nail polish and let's talk. I'm sure that over the years, you have noticed the social media trend where it seems like in every selfie post, there's someone with a big butt. And you think you'll like it in the moment. However, big butts aren't as attractive as they appear. Big butts are actually pretty darn frustrating. You know that woman engaging and smiling at you? She likes you, but she just got out of a relationship. Your flirty coworker thinks you're cute, but he's just so busy with work, and on and on. With avoidance, it seems like there's always some excuse getting in the way, even if they are interested. But the problem starts when we see the butt as a challenge, and we start developing a few big butts of our own. We think things like, I know she says she's too busy, but if I keep asking, maybe I'll catch her on a slow day. Or my personal old favorite, I know he said he wasn't interested, but if I can just get him out on one date, I'll show him how great we can be together. And while you never have to take any of my advice in these videos, I hope you heed this valuable lesson. If you have to struggle to convince or manipulate someone into going out with you even once, you don't want them. You do not want to date or marry someone who is fighting you or making excuses not to spend time with you from the very beginning. A little bit of flirting, will they, won't they, push and pull, that's fun. But if someone has genuine intentions, it's doubtful that they would turn you down for an actual date. They'd probably be hoping that you'll ask, because that's why you show interest in people, right? You like them and you want to date them and get to know them better. And maybe they did like you and they accidentally played hard to get a little too hard because some toxic person online told them that it was hyper attractive. I mean, it happens. There's a lot of bad advice out there. But the difference is, when you walk away, they would come back after you. And here's the important part. They don't just suck you back in so they can rile you up. They want to go on an actual date. But I get it. It's super annoying when someone in your life teases you and flirts with you, but whenever you finally get the guts to stick your neck out to propose getting together for real, they immediately back off. Sometimes they ghost you completely. Have you ever had someone tell you that they were too busy, but then you see them on social media living their best life out with a group of friends? It's confusing, and seeing those photos is like a little punch that takes the wind right out of your stomach. They were making the giggly eyes at you, and now it feels like they are avoiding you. Like you feel like you aren't good enough to be in their little club. Which brings me to lesson number 2. When someone you ask out makes a big deal about how busy they are, but then you find out that they're all about town, going to karaoke night, hitting the medieval fair, and even though they know you want to get together, they aren't even trying to include you in their schedule, you've got to drop them. It doesn't matter how hard they flirted or what they said. They're just one big but. When people you are interested in give you an answer that doesn't make sense, their actions don't match their words, they say they're too busy, but then they're always out with friends, they aren't being honest. And honestly, probably because they don't want to hurt your feelings. They haven't yet learned that it's actually more hurtful to flirt and tease someone they know has a crush on them without any intention. I believe people do this because either they need external validation for their own insecurities, or hey, maybe you don't even realize they already have a boyfriend or a girlfriend who makes them feel invisible, and your attention feels really good. Or there's the worst kind. They are using you, like at work or at the gym. They're flirting with you to make someone else they actually like jealous. I believe that somewhere along the way, even people that do these things, as they emotionally mature and they develop more confidence and more empathy, they no longer use attention of people who they know like them as a source of dopamine. This video came about because a couple of episodes ago, I had a gentleman in the comments say he felt bad because a woman he knew was flirting and even suggesting they get together, but then she kept turning him down when he asked her out. He did say after a couple of rejected invitations, he totally dropped it, but he still mentioned that the whole situation did make him feel bad. Please, try not to be so hard on yourself just because one person decided to use you as a dopamine hit. Keep in mind, you didn't know them. You didn't know that they were like that. You never even went out with them in person on one date, and as we discussed in last week's video, we can't really know anybody before we have spent a lot of in-person time with them out on real-world dates. And if you ask them out because they're acting interested, and then they give you a big but, don't get down on yourself just because it turns out they didn't like you that way or see you in their future for whatever reason. They've actually given you some valuable information. They're a butt, and you don't have to start ignoring them or being mean to them, but you also don't have to keep wasting your time. It's easier to stop anxiously chasing if you can surrender to the truth that not everyone on this planet has your best interest in mind, and not everyone is going to like you. And that's okay. I've had people get upset and unsubscribe to me because I would tell stories about how I went back out into the dating world with stronger boundaries, and these viewers thought I didn't really give people enough of a chance. I would dump guys after 1 or 2 dates, and viewers told me I was being way too judgmental. I get where they're coming from, but I spent over 3 decades of my life not being judgmental enough and giving people too much rope, too much benefit of the doubt, too many chances, to the point where they were walking all over me, using me, and spitting me out. By the end, I don't even think they had any respect for me. That's why I finally sat down, painted my nails, and created a list of boundaries and deal breakers that some people might think are extreme. But they ended up working out a lot better for me, and we all have been through different kinds of trauma, and we all deserve our own personal boundaries. They are personal to us. Not everyone has to agree with them. Reflect on patterns of toxic or avoidant people of your past and make a list of behaviors they displayed that turned you into an anxious, emotional mess. Then create boundaries you set into place ahead of time before that toxic, adorable person waltzes into your life, tries to keep you off kilter with their hot and cold behavior mixed with stunning good looks. I know it's tough, but welcome to the other half, where we know attraction is not just about looks. We also need to take care of the inner half. Because having boundaries that you enforce helps you develop a beautiful, great big butt all your own. One that looks like, gosh, it feels great when this cute guy I know texts me, but whenever I text him, he doesn't always text me back. and that doesn't work for me anymore. Or, hey, this lovely lady is laughing and joking around and touching my hair, but I can't even get her to come out to one coffee with me, and I don't want to date someone I feel like I have to convince to go out on a date with me. And of course, the knowledge that you can have boundaries and people do not have to respect them, but you also don't have to hang around those people, and you sure as heck don't have to date them or sleep with them. If you are struggling with your own confusion in relationships, I do one-on-one calls if you ever want someone to talk to who's been where you are, or members of the channel can always email me with a question that we go through anonymously in our member videos. And if you're not a member but you'd still like to share your breakup with others on this channel, I'll go ahead and put my Gmail link in the description below. And if you know someone who struggles with anxious attachment to avoidant half love, please share this video so more beautiful people like you can know that they are not as invisible as they feel. We gotta let go and stop feeling so bad. Feel good that you tried. Feel good that you've gotten to a point in your life where you have the strength and the emotional bravery to shoot your shot. And you might get a big butt, but you can also just drop it. And that doesn't mean you failed. It just means now you pivot onward and upward, because I tell you, you can't get any lower down than someone who breadcrumbs and ghosts you before you've ever even gone out on one date. Benjamin had some great insight on this last week. He commented, "Future faking and love bombing, which can be anything from jumping your bones to simple consistent flirting, lures the person at the receiving end into thinking that person actually likes them or loves them, and then poof, when the relationship takes the next step, they disappear. It leaves the receiver thinking they did something or everything wrong, when in actuality, they probably did everything right." Exactly. If someone's showing you signs of interest, it's not wrong to ask them out on a date. Remember, avoidants are attracted to secure and anxious attachers because they have traits that the avoidants don't have. Traits like supportiveness and warm, caring selflessness. Once the avoidance target realizes that, it's easier to realize the avoidant was the problem. Yeah, it's all flirt and no substance. We all want to be around people with traits we admire. It only gets toxic when we start using people for those traits, for our own totally selfish, unempathetic reasons. I like Harry Quinn's advice on flirting. Last week I asked viewers if they'd ever had someone come on really strong and then back off immediately, and he said yes. But sometimes your energies ebb and flow, so I understand it. And after being discarded by a dismissive avoidant, you're just glad to get through it, and you enjoy being alone for a little while. Flirting with attractive women, or men, is healthy for both parties, even if it doesn't necessarily go anywhere. See, I think this is great advice. Flirt, shoot your shot, and if it turns out they have a big butt, it's okay. Don't let a scarcity mindset convince you there will never be anyone else that you will have chemistry with. You know, you get out there and maybe with not even the intention of focusing on a relationship, get out there and do something you're passionate about around other people in the world. And because you are passionate, and this is something, maybe a subject you know a lot about, it's going to help give you confidence. And people are attracted to confidence. They see that you're someone who has respect for yourself because you take care of yourself and your surroundings. You have respect for other people, and you go out into a public space and you smile and you're friendly, but you're not just giving it all away. Take some charismatic spaghetti and throw it on the walls, and the right person is going to stick around. Anyone who fluffs you up just to run away, there could be all kinds of reasons, and I'm sure their reasons are important to them, but the good news is they don't have to be important to you. No need to take too much time of your life analyzing the reasons, and their reasons might seem mysterious and different and complicated, and in the end, it's all the same. They're all one big butt. Once you learn how to disqualify and stop chasing all the big butts, your life will become 10 times more bootyful. I'll put the controversial video about why I dumped a guy that I liked after our first date right here. My name is Maria Adriana. You did not have to live my life, but I certainly hope you can learn something from it. Don't be so hard on yourself, and as always, thank you for visiting The Other Half.